YouTube, what is up? Welcome back to the Radar for Rasslin Studios. AEW Dynamite just finished up. This is a halfway decent show of AEW Dynamite. We got a little more clarification on the whole heel turn from the Young Bucks. They look a little bit different. They're kind of a little more stylish. Yeah, so that's pretty much what we got there. We got the Mike Tyson involvement between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. So we have actual a match between at least one of the members of the Pinnacle, one of the members of the Inner Circle with Jericho and Dax Harwood. So we got a lot of things to get into. We had the championship match, the TNT championship match to end the show, and some stuff with Christian Cage. So we'll get into that going forward on this episode of AEW Dynamite. Before we do, I want you guys to drop a like and a comment in this video below what you guys thought about Dynamite, where you think Dynamite is headed going into the following pay-per-view, whenever that is. I think it's in May. And how do you think the cards have been working out for AEW Dynamite? Are you enjoying it? What don't you like about it? Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Subscribe if not subscribe. Notification bell, little new videos drop. Let's get into AEW Dynamite. Started off with the AEW Tag Team Championship match. The Young Bucks, the champions, against the Death Triangle. The Young Bucks had like a video package beforehand, how they're going to change. They're going to go back to the old Young Bucks or a different version of the Young Bucks. So they're going full-blown heel as of now. We don't know how that's going to end up turning out. It could be a swerve in the end. But they're full force. They come out with Don Callis. They're taking on the Ray Fenix and Pac, the guys who won that Battle Royal, the last pay-per-view Revolution. Get the shot here. So they have the match. It's it's like close to a half-hour match. I mean, it's really long match for a TV match, but it was really good. It's one of those AEW classic tag team matches. You know what you're gonna get, especially from Ray Fenix, Pac, and the Young Bucks involved. So Young Bucks got a new look, all in white. Come out with Don Callis. They're acting like heels, arrogant as hell. In the end, they end up winning the match by ripping off the mask of Fenix, causing him to cover his face. They double super kick him. They get the win there.
That was nothing but poetry. Nick Jackson just took the mask off of Ray Fenix.
Get the win there. That's the way that match ends. So still your tag team champions, the Young Bucks. They're calling out every single tag team there is. Later on, they have a promo outside in the parking lot with Don Callis, Kenny Omega, the Good Brothers. Go full heel. Talk about how, they're the best tag team out. They're not playing anymore. They're not complacent anymore. All that stuff. Nick Jackson, channeling his inner Shawn Michaels with a little earring on one ear and a little bowler cap. So he looks just like Shawn, like HBK from 94. So there's some interesting stuff here, but we'll see how the full-blown heel turn comes. Moxley was nowhere to be seen on the show, so Moxley could be getting some new tag team partners, taking this team on. Maybe the actual Bullet Club members from Japan come and show up. Maybe, who knows, but we'll see what happens going forward with that storyline. Next thing on the show was Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. Red Velvet's still the number 2 ranked under Tay Conti, who's getting a title shot next week against Hikaru Shida. I still don't know how Red Velvet's ranked so high. Dark and Elevation, I guess for some reason those matches count. She has a lot of matches there, and that's how she got her wins up. In the end, she loses here though to Jade Cargill. I mean, Jade Cargill is green as hell, and she gets the win here. So it was what it was. You have her go up the rankings are so useless, to be honest with you, in AEW. They really are. You have, after the match, you have Britt Baker talking about how useless they actually are and cracking jokes on the rankings. So at least they're showing that they know that their rankings are pretty useless. So Cargill gets the win. Pretty much all there's to talk about. We'll see how eventually Britt Baker gets into that title position later on. Next thing on the show was the Anthony Ogogo versus Cole Carter in-ring debut of Ogogo, a former Olympian medalist at the 2012 Games in London as a boxer. Quick squash. It wasn't really super impressive. I don't know. He punched the guy, right, and then had a referee stoppage. So he punched in the midsection, dropped the other guy, referee stoppage, pretty much it. You see QT and his crew called The Factory. They came out, they have the new logos and all that stuff like that. So we'll see going forward how this team works. That was a bunch of young guys, and we'll see how they, where this ends up with Cody going against Nightmare Family versus The Factory. 2 factions we don't really care about, but we're going to get it anyways. Next thing we show, Chris Jericho, Dax Harwood. So before this, you have Mike Tyson and MJF have a confrontation in the backstage. What happened there was MJF trying to get, pay Mike Tyson to kind of turn the other cheek and let the Pinnacle, like Dax Harwood, Cash Wheeler, cheat a little bit to get the win over Chris Jericho. He was not having anything of that. Mike Tyson, he's down with the Inner Circle, trying to call it down the middle. The match itself, it wasn't a great match. It kind of was what it was. I mean, if you compare it to other AEW matches, it wasn't that great. It wasn't a whole bunch of big spots. There's a lot of hoopla going around the ring and all that. But the best thing about this match was Cash Wheeler grabs the bat and he tries to use it. Mike Tyson having none of it. Pulls him down, gives him a right hand straight to the jaw. And I really like the way Cash Wheeler sold this, because if you watch UFC, you watch boxing, or whatever the case may be, a fighting sport, when a guy gets completely knocked out, he doesn't just go cold turkey and just collapse on the floor and go like just a beanie go to sleep. When they drop, their body gets real stiff in a position, and that's the way Cash sold it. So I did enjoy that part.
Mike Tyson holds him at bay.
little tiny thing Cash did there when he sold it. His body got real stiff. His arm was in the air. His leg was in the air. Similar to how somebody acts when they actually do get knocked out. So, you know, they're pretty much the body stiffens up and they kind of just drop. Yeah, so that was a good thing. Jericho ends up being the one with the Judas effect. And afterwards, they pretty much inducted Mike Tyson to the Inner Circle as like an honorary member of the Inner Circle. So that's all there was there. The next thing on the show is Chris Statlander in her first match back from tearing her ACL such a long time ago. She comes back. She looks great, in shape. A little bit different, but pretty much same as Chris Statlander. She's taking on Amber Nova, another independent wrestler. You follow her on Instagram, whatever. So she was there, and Statlander just kind of beat her quickly. Pretty much all there is to that. They'll continue to build her up. She was heavy in the game, in the AEW women's roster, in the division, in the rankings. Before she got injured, she looked like she was going to be a future champion, or at least get a title shot, but the injury derailed her. We'll see when she gets back into that spot later on. Because remember, you got Tay Conti, I guess Red Velvet, Britt Baker eventually. Thunder Rosa says she's coming from both NWA and AEW Women's Championship. We'll see how that all plays out. But, you know, hopefully things are looking up for the women's division on AEW, because it really hasn't been that well booked. So let's get to the we'll get to Team Taz. Team Taz is, again, for like the 5th week in a row, they're cutting a promo backstage with all the members, and Ricky Starks and Brian Cage still have issues. You know, Brian Cage still rocking that worthless FTW championship. You know, they're looking for an answer from Kristen Cage to join Team Taz. Taz tells, you know, Starks, Cage, stay back there. We'll handle it. Hobbs with Hook. So they come out. Well, he's kind of interview Christian Cage in the ring with Tony Schiavone. Here comes Team Taz to break that up. They're saying, are you going to join or not? They jab back and forth. He makes fun of Edge. Christian makes fun of Taz's height and the amount of money he's been in bingo hall type of stuff. So then Powerhouse Hobbs is the guy to step up, and he beats the living hell out of Christian Cage. Next week, that's going to be a match set up. But my problem with this is that Team Taz has done really much of nothing other than that, you know, cinematic match at Revolution. So all they've really done. Hobbs, another guy who showed up in the company, was booked, you know, pretty well, like a powerhouse when he got with Moxley. Then he turned heel, and nothing really happened. They kind of just dropped it. He's a side character, and now you're supposed to believe that he comes out and beats up the biggest acquisition AEW has right now. That easily just destroys him. I don't really like it, but whatever. I thought that didn't make a ton of sense. They should have had a Brian Cage do it, or a Ricky Starks do it, instead of Powerhouse Hobbs, who they're throwing on the back burner ever since he turned heel, and really hasn't done much. Again, Team Taz hasn't done a ton other than that street fight that they had, the cinematic match. So, I mean, it is what it is. Nothing really great to talk about there. But Hobbs versus Christian Cage next week on AEW Dynamite. Next match on the show was the Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT Championship. It was a Falls Count Anywhere, you know, everything against the wall. My problem with this match, it was crazy, it was chaotic all over the place. Now you had Private Party get involved. Sting comes out, beats up both Private Party. Then for some reason you have Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, who are a tag team now, who haven't done much of anything since turning into a tag team. You had Scorpio Sky win that brass ring, then loses, and then goes into a tag team. I don't know, terrible booking by AEW. But they come out to kind of jump in, and then here comes the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. He gets in the way of them. They leave, and then Lance Archer gets in the ring, stares down Sting, and then just beats up Private Party, and then that's pretty much it. And then Sting tosses the bat to Darby Allin. Darby Allin uses the bat. The match would end with a coffin drop off like the scaffolding, you know, onto a table on Matt Hardy, and your champion, still champion, Darby Allin, wins this match. As the match, it was fine. I just don't like how you take away from the TNT Championship and the match itself when you have like the spotlight on Lance Archer and Sting in the ring, and the random Ethan Page, Scorpio Sky stuff. It's random as hell. I know they were in the crowd for last week's interview, so whatever, but it just feels just super random, right? So it is what it is. Allen wins. We'll see where he goes forward with this, but they showcased the title at the end of the match. You know, no AEW Championship match. It was the TNT Championship, the main title on the show, so it was what it was. Overall, halfway decent episode of AEW Dynamite. There's a lot of things they do I don't like, which I'm going to talk about in that video I've been working on. The problems with AEW is my follow-up to the video I made 6 or 8 months ago about how AEW I thought was better than WWE at the time. That opinion has completely changed. But guys, that's the review I have for you guys today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. AEW Dynamite review. Remember to like, subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you like this episode of Dynamite? Have you liked Dynamite recently? What's your problems with Dynamite? You know, give me some info on what you guys think. Maybe some stuff I can put in the video of the problems that AEW has. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think. Give me some advice. Remember, if it doesn't work, not do the job.